What's up, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. Rafael Devers honestly looks lost at first base. I get it. It's a brand new position, but he's literally not even looking the right way. But neither is the guy covering first base. The Giants are playing some of their worst baseball in years. The Yankees and Blue Jays have both made more moves in the trade market, and we're going to see if they're big or not in just a second. Staying with trade talks, my lord. Huge rumors around Kwani and Shane Bieber. Carlos Correa might be heading back to where it all started. Will Smith of the Dodgers, he is not going to win MVP, but this dude is having one of the greatest offensive catching seasons we've ever seen. Like, I'm not even being dramatic. And Andrew Vaughn, he's been the right-handed Barry Bonds ever since he got traded to the Brewers. Of course he went crazy again. We'll talk about all of that and more in today's MLB recap, a series in which we recap every baseball game almost every single day. So grow the game with me, leave a like, and hit that subscribe button. It helps out a lot. And by the way, if you're going to any baseball games or even concerts anytime soon, save yourself 20 bucks off using code Fuzzy on SeatGeek. And if you're into fantasy sports, baseball's still going on right now. Obviously, football's around the corner. Download Underdog Fantasy today for a free MLB pick'em up to $1,000 in bonus cash. It's really easy. All you have to do is choose higher or lower on players that you think are going to do well or not. So again, download Underdog today with code Fuzzy. And as always, please play responsibly. The Yankees are back to making trades, and no, this is not an Eugenio Suarez trade. After getting Ryan McMahon, the Yankees have pivoted to Ahmed Rosario and Austin Slater, 32-year-old White Sox outfielder Austin Slater. That is nasty work. Okay, all jokes aside, I will say that Austin Slater does have an 800 OPS versus lefties in his career, and if you look at his raw numbers this year, he actually might be underperforming because he is tearing covers off of baseballs with elite exit velocities. He has a cannon for an arm as well. So again, all jokes aside, he could be a really nice add if he's only used against lefties. Don't even attempt to use him against righties. He is useless versus those guys. So Slater going to the Yankees to try and make up for the lost ground of Aaron Judge. Again, he's going to be a platoon bat. They got Rosario in there, McMahon. I just don't understand why the Diamondbacks are being so high on Eugenio Suarez. Like, I get it, but also they might price themselves out of a trade. By the way, the White Sox picked up 22-year-old Gage Ziehl. He's got pretty good command, not a ton of strikeouts since being drafted in the 11th round back in 2021, but it's a one-for-one trade. Sir Anthony Dominguez is on the move again. Sir Anthony is going from the Orioles to the Blue Jays, who are currently playing each other, so all he has to do is go into the clubhouse, literally across the field. Sir Anthony was really good with the Orioles this year, a 3.2 ERA and an almost 12 strikeouts per nine. So it looks like the Orioles are giving up, but don't tell that to their players. You'll see in a second, they are not giving up. To me, I think that this is a pretty good ad because Jeff Hoffman, he's been nasty with the strikeout stuff, but he's been very unreliable in terms of not allowing runs. You can't have that as a closer. Not saying that Hoffman is going to be replaced, but if he isn't careful, he could be. And in return, the Orioles are getting the 22-year-old starting pitcher, Juaron Watts-Brown. He has some of the nastiest stuff of any starting pitcher in all of minor league baseball. He has 115 strikeouts in 89 innings this year. Honestly, I like this trade for both teams. We have some breaking news about the Angels. Now, I recorded this later in the video, so stick around. The Angels made a trade that is sending shockwaves through the community. Not because it's a big trade by any means, but because they're buying. We'll talk about that later. But in terms of rumors, I do want to say there are some massive rumors. The Dodgers have Steven Kwan in their sights. And wait, Carlos Correa, it's been said that he could waive his no-trade clause to go to the Astros. Now, here's a quick Photoshop of Carlos Correa in an Astros uniform. How do you think I did? Like, if this trade does happen, how do you think I did with this Photoshop? Sorry about that. It's not funny at all. But the Astros are also reportedly in on Dylan Cease. So that answers that. Yesterday, I posed the question, should the Astros just say, hey, we're overachieving right now. Let's trade Framber after he struck out 12, and let's rebuild and retool for 2026 when everyone's healthy? Nope. They're confident that they can re-sign Framber and just keep building towards the future without completely giving up. I respect it. Let's get into the games from yesterday. We could talk about a lot of things first, but there's no way we aren't going to show Andrew Vaughn putting up Barry Bonds numbers again as a Brewer. So after a sac fly in the third and an RBI single after William Contreras doubled in Blake Perkins, okay, Nico, rude, bro. I wanted to talk more about Andrew Vaughn. He lined out his fourth home run. Here it is, Andrew Vaughn. He stepped in with the bases loaded, and Ryan Presley hung a curveball directly down the middle for Vaughn. That's his third base hit of the game. He had 6 RBIs, so he has 5 home runs and 21 RBIs his first 15 games as a Brewer. He's the first player since Barry Bonds to have a .475 batting average and 15-plus RBIs their first 10 games at home with the brand new team. The Brewers have won 3 in a row. There are 2 games up in the Central, and I'm praying for Jackson Chourio because he left with a hammy issue. What is going on with the Blue Jays? out of nowhere, they've dropped 4 in a row. But maybe I could say, what is going on with the Orioles? So after 4, I'm going to say that one more time, 4 sac flies, Addison Barger, he did what he's done a dozen times this year. He hit a baseball 420 plus feet. That was it for the Jays, though, until the 8th. The O's added 12 more runs in between. Gunnar, he's at his best, at least in my opinion, when he's going oppo with that swing. And Tyler O'Neill has a home run in 4 straight games. Ramon Urias, he makes it back-to-back. That's the second time in the last 24 hours the Orioles have gone back-to-back in a game, and it might be happening. Gunnar might have finally found his power stroke again. A 3-run, 417-foot home run to dead center. I mean, that fan is really hyped up to catch that baseball. I'd be hyped up, too, if I caught it. Ramon is almost back to a 100 OPS plus, and I'm going to show this for all of my Loper Fido fans. He's got a really, really fun swing, but I'm going to have to skip to this MLB record. No joke. This is the 5th sac fly of the game that ties the most ever. So, yeah, there you go. They win 16-4. I thought for sure Game 2 was going to go to the Jays, especially after they got a lead. Nope. Ryan O'Hearn, he had an RBI triple, and as I'm recording, he just hit a home run, so he's really just going crazy in his final few games as an Oriole. He's going to get traded. I feel like the writing's on the wall. Ramon, he tapped it to tie it, so it's 2-2. We have a Sir Anthony debut. I didn't think that he was going to be able to play. I love these kinds of trades where you just walk over to the other dugout in between games. His 8 was upside down. They were rushing, but he had a disgusting 2 strikeouts and a hitless 7th inning. Gunnar will not stop blistering baseballs. His double was immediately followed up by another double. I thought that it was a home run at first for Ali, and then I thought it was caught. None of that happened. It is a double. Like I said earlier, Jeff Hoffman better be careful. Corbin Martin, he was dirty. He had 2 strikeouts in the 9th to earn his very first big league save. This is his first time being back in the big league since 2022. We love a good comeback story. Let's get into some blowouts before we talk about Anthony Volpe making another error. And we also have a big update on Ronald Acuña Jr., which is kind of scary, to be honest. The Tigers, they dismantled Brandon Pfaadt and the Diamondbacks, and at this point, Arizona might be getting scammed by another starting pitcher. First, it was Jordan Montgomery. Erod, I mean, before that, he went missing for a month or 2. Corbin Burns, he's now hurt. I don't know if that counts, but Dylan Dingler, that's a 2-out flare because everyone's running. Labor still has plenty of pop in that bat. He showed it with this opposite field home run, his 11th of the season, and the Tigers have a good luck stash. A good luck mustache, and I'm not joking. It might actually be good luck. Riley Green ripped a 2-run home run. He's the guy with the stash. He has 26 home runs and 83 RBIs, getting some more love in the dugout on that stash. And now the all-star Zach McKinstry is going yard, the 3rd of the inning, and he was lifted like Rose and Titanic. So the Tigers are having a lot of fun in this one. There's Riley Green with his 2nd RBI extra base hit. He has 23 doubles and 84 RBIs now. Winsel Perez was a home run away from the cycle. Here he is with his RBI 3-bagger, and again, it was just a demolition job. McKinstry also doubled. He matched Riley Green with a home run and a double. They've won 3 in a row. They're tied with the Cubs and the Jays at 2 games back of the best record in baseball. This next game is surreal to me because the Guardians won, but they might be losing Steven Kwan and Shane Bieber by the time that this video comes out. So I'm just like mentally preparing myself. But let's get hyped up. The Dodgers, I think they're just sick of Conforto hitting 195 with just bottom of the barrel butcher defense out there and left. Gabriel Arias, he knocked in Kwan and Schneemann with a 2-run single. Manzardo hit his first of 2 on the day. Wait for the second one. He had a 2-run home run in the 3rd. Brian Rocchio, he looks like a brand new human ever since he was sent down and recalled. There he is with a 2-run triple. He had 3 extra base hits his first 35 games. He has 11 extra base hits since his recall. Nolan Jones just threw his barrel at a ball that's an RBI single. He hit it to the guy he was traded for. Kwan went to the same spot. He was the final starter in the lineup to not have a base hit, so every starter had a base hit. Manzo, his 3rd hit is his 2nd home run. He has 18 on the year, so he's breaking out lately. Tolia and Farmer, I'm going to show these super quick. They still lost by a ton, but they hit home runs. I'm not going to skip them. Is this it? Is this the final game for Steven Kwan in a Guardians uniform? They're 3.5 games back, so should they go for it or give up? Let's go find out what happened to Ronald when he was going up against the Royals. We have another health update. Wait, this is a different health update. Chris Bubich is out for the year. He had a 2.5 ERA. He was an all-star. He will not be back until 2026 because he has a rotator cuff issue. That is just terrible news. But good news for the Kansas City offense. They've been firing on all cylinders for a month now. They are 6th in OPS the last 30 days. Vinny Pasquantino, he channeled the pass squatch for his 18th. And even Jonathan India is driving in runs left and right. That is a 2-run double. Bobby had a few RBIs in this one. Seth Lugo, he's cruising. Well, he was cruising. Then he gave up a couple no-doubters to Austin Riley and the Big Bear with another big fly. Marcell Ozuna, maybe his last. I mean, honestly, I don't know what's going to happen with a lot of these guys. I keep saying over the last week, like, this could be their last game, and then they're not traded. So Wow, Kyle Isbell, he got all 3 runs back on one swing because Profar, he should be embarrassed with how he plays defense and takes routes. It's just embarrassing. So that clears the bases. There's Bobby's second RBI. Vinny had another RBI extra base hit, a ground rule double. So that's 65 RBI on the year. Then you have 3 singles to make it a save opportunity for Carlos Estevez, who now has 28 saves. And then I got to go back to that Vinny Pasquantino double because Ronald sprinted after it. He left after that. It wasn't an ACL thing or anything knee related. It was his Achilles. Now, he said it was hurting pretty bad, and it's good to get him the heck out of there. Like, don't even play him for the rest of the year. ACLs often lead to Achilles getting weak because you're putting strain and kind of compensating with other ligaments. Klay Thompson, I think, had that happen to him where it was an ACL first, then Achilles. The Braves are 13 games back. Do not risk it. I'm praying for a complete recovery because, listen, we do not need another Grady Sizemore on our hands. Let's start easing up. That's what Grady told me to my face. He wished that he would have eased up earlier in his career instead of going 10 out of 10 on every single play. They're calling Anthony Volpe Anthony Volpe 6. Get it? Because he plays the 6th spot and he keeps making errors. So we'll talk about the Yankees, Red Sox, and Dodgers game all in a row. But yeah, Volpe had a bad flip to Jazz. So this 2-out Johnny DeLuca triple should have never been a 2-run triple. Max Fried has been getting hosed by his defense his last 2 times out. Now, this should have been the first run of the game. Jonathan Aranda, that's his first home run since the All-Star break. He's an All-Star, remember that. Bellinger, he is turning it up right when the captain went down. What a cut. A 3-run laser beam. Cody Bellinger has 20 home runs, 61 RBIs. He's playing fantastic defense as well. Added Kid Volpe, he made it for that error. And now he's wreaking havoc. There we go. He stole third base. He scored on the bad throw from the newcomer, Nick Fortes. Goldie put up another run, just his 7th RBI his last 74 games. Fried, he locked in. He's telling Boone, I got him. He did not get him. Walls, he splits the gap for an RBI. Fried is done. He leaves after 9 strikeouts, only 2 earned runs allowed. Anthony, he had his team's back again with the stick. His 15th went 452 feet. He now has 5 home runs his last 19. Devin Williams has 17 saves. The Yankees are 32-22 at home, but they're under 500 on the road. Boston is pretty much the exact same. They're great at home, awful on the road, and they're on the road again. But Roman Anthony, he doesn't... Oh, hold on. I guess Willier doesn't seem to mind either. Whoa, he got rejected. Harrison Bader, he got back there. He steals a home run from Willier Abreu. Roman, there he is with the RBI. Roman Anthony has been a top 15 hitter in baseball, honestly, the last month. Alex Bregman, I mean, low-key, he might be a top 20 player in baseball now that he's on the Red Sox. Trevor Story needed this bad. He hit his 16th home run. He's having a weird season because he's been terrible at getting on base. He has a ton of web gems, but he's been meh defensively. Jarren Duran, I didn't think that you could go this far when you're that fast. 446 feet is, again, crazy for a guy with his tools and speed. He broke out the Superman celebration. Shout out to Brooks Lee of the Twins. He knocked in every run, all 5 runs for the Twins. There's a 2-run home run in the 7th. He already had an RBI single. Story and Willier, they grew some RBI double, so they kept pushing the score up and up. And good thing, too, because Brooks, he kept on raking. A 5 RBI night. That was all she wrote for the Twins, though. Boston's offense is cream of the crop. And honestly, I see them getting Shane Bieber. I had a premonition. I think Shane Bieber is going to be a Red Sox. Baseball is awesome because the second Ohtani gets hot, Mookie and Freddie look like T-ballers. Now it's the inverse. Those two are hot, and Ohtani cannot buy a base. We'll get to those guys in a moment because Tommy Tanks is already putting a stamp on this game, and so is Jake Fraley. The game got reset in a hurry, and the Reds are actually winning now. Noelvi Marte with the screamer home run to right field. By the way, I just saw rumors that the Reds and Padres are also in on Steven Kwan. Imagine Steven Kwan with the Luis Arraez or Steven Kwan on the Reds. That would be a lot of fun. Lodolo made 1 mistake pitch. He had 11 strikeouts in 5 1/3. His curveball and changeup are just absolutely disgusting. Now, the Reds were trying to rally, but they only got 1 on this Ellie chopper because Tommy picked it, and the pen, they found a way to wiggle out of that jam. Will Smith, he's not going to win MVP, but he's going to get a ton of 2nd place, 3rd place votes, and rightfully so. Maybe he'll get a few 1st place votes from someone who is just begging to go against the grain and who just likes to be different because they can. Freddie, he cashed in a Mookie, and Smith, Will knocked it off the wall. He's batting .325, which leads the NL. He has a .423 on base, which also leads the NL. He's also amazing at controlling the run game behind the dish. If he ever learns how to frame, I mean, my goodness. Vesia has 4 saves. The Dodgers are 63-45. The Reds are 56-52. So they need some more help, especially defensively. Schwarber! I can't believe I'm saying this. He had 38 home runs all of 2024, which is awesome for a full season, right? He has 37 right now. He is now on pace for 56 home runs and 130 RBIs. That ball went 441 feet, by the way. Also forgot to mention that he passed Mike Schmidt for the most home runs by Philly before August ever. Brandon Marsh. We call this guy Marshy. Bang! A 2-run home run. That is the second 2-run tater of the inning for the Phillies. Luzardo, I didn't think that he was going to... He looked rough to begin this game, but he goes 7 scoreless. He made the White Sox look silly a few times, and they were saying that he might go to the bullpen. No, he's not going to the bullpen. He picks up his 9th win. Lenyn Sosa, this is not off Jesus, obviously. He hit a 2-run home run. He has 23 RBIs and an 830 OPS his last 26 games. That's really good. Maybe he gets traded. I don't know. The Phillies, they could use a Mets loss coming up. And the Padres granted the Phillies' wish. Jackson Merrill is now on a 9-game hitting streak. He had a blooper RBI single. Nice play from Shamanai. A little flip to get Jose Iglesias at the dish. Juan Soto, if you've never done this, I don't care if it was the cages or in a game, you don't quite understand the instant pain of fouling a ball off your own ankle. He stayed in, and then he got robbed because he hit it to the Crone zone. Do not do that. Soto, he's out the game. He's got to go get x-rays. I think that he's actually okay. We have a weird play in center because Marte hit a sac fly. Tatis stole the throw from Merrill. Merrill has an absolute cannon as well, and Nando just kind of said, I got this. He just kind of said, Leroy Jenkins, I'm going to just steamroll this, and it's mine. Even though Merrill had the better angle, and again, he's got a cannon of his own. Jackson, he's off to the races. He put his head down for an RBI triple. Elias Diaz had a 2-run, I think, double. And Manny, I'm just going to skip to this. No offense, Elias Diaz fans, but Manny hit his 20th, just like Bellinger. It's so cool to say that Manny and Belly are playing like elite level players in 2025 after conversations in 2022, 2023 that they might be slowing down. Manny had a 113 OPS plus in 2023. He's up to a 140 this year. The Padres have won 4 games in a row, and so have the Pirates, which means the Giants have now dropped 5 games in a row. So they're 2-8 their last 10. At least Willie stayed hot. He mashed out his 16th home run. Justin Verlander, poor guy. He does not get the L, but he also doesn't get the W. This was the only run that he allowed. I know that Leover Peguero was back. I had no idea. I've always really liked his swing and his athleticism, so he just has to stay healthy. Same for a lot of guys in baseball. I don't know if the Giants controller ran out of battery in the 8th, but Rogers had a bobble. Cabrine hit one to second with 2 on. Rogers was looking at second base. He did not see it at all. I mean, Devers was also looking towards second. Maybe that confused them. And then the ball hit Cabrine Hayes. Joey Bart, he played in Nick Gonzalez. Peguero had his second RBI on a ground out. And Dennis Santana secured his 6th save of the year. He had 2 strikeouts. Cabrine Hayes ranged to his left for the web gem. The Giants have lost 5 games in a row. Devers went hitless again. He's batting like 224. What is the Giants record when Rafael Devers plays? Giants record with Devers. I'm looking it up right home. They're 13-23. They're 10 games under 500 when Devers plays. That's insane to me. Sandy Alcantara's final Marlins start. This has to be it, right? Like, there's not another start before the deadline. The deadline is tomorrow or the day after. He's allowed 0 runs his last 2 starts, so he chose the perfect time to lock in and reset. After Marlins rookie Torrey Johnston got his first career base hit, Graham Pauley walloped out his first home run as a Marlin. Kyle Stowers hit a double because he's Kyle Stowers. He's an extra base god. And Otto Lopez, he loves when runners are in scoring position. He's batting almost 350 with a 950 OPS when he's got ducks on a pond. Sandy's changeup, it was working wonders in combination with the sinker. Look at Ivan Herrera and his life flashing before his eyes. I need that velocity back up. Maybe he's saving some for the playoff contender that trades for him. He's still working back from Tommy John. It's 4-0 Fish on the Eric Waggaman double to right field. 5-0 on the triple for Xavier Edwards, who is just casually batting .310 with 48 stolen bases his last 160 games. Sandy, he's a winner and maybe his last start in a Marlins uniform. Halos love and hate to see Adolis Garcia out there and right. Wait till you see why they hate him. So they loved it because Adolis, after the RBI flare for Adele, Adolis just threw it away. So it's 2-0 on the air. Higgy, he does not miss pitches down the middle. That is a directly down the middle cutter from Yusei. Adolis with another error. He flat out dropped a fly ball. And that's not like the Rangers. They have the fewest errors in all of the American League. At least Adolis made up for it big time. I'm going to say that big time. He singled in Haggerty. Again, wait for why they hate to see him in the outfield. Yusei stepped off twice, so now you have to either throw home or risk a balk if you don't get... They got him. Wyatt Langford got picked off. Then Yusei got 95 past Young, so he's looking like he might be at 5-2 now. Shanuel, he lifted one high and deep. Adolis, he brought it back. 2 errors, but then an RBI single and a home run robbery. The Angels, Now it's their turn to make errors. Neto didn't dive. I don't know if that's his fault completely, but then Ward had a throwing error, so a second run comes around to score. Josh Smith, he just kind of torpedoed into home plate. Wyatt Langford is going to dive. This is a do-or-die slide for out number 3, and it got past them. Gustavo with the game-tying double. Moncada had a 2-run single. He has a 112 OPS plus despite a brutal slump recently. Where is he going to end up? Because, again, the Halos better start trading. It's like, come on, hold on. Neto, he gets a free double on a slip from Sam Haggerty. Higgy, I'll show this. He had his second home run. And we have some tensions in this game. So the Halos got hit twice in the 8th inning, Neto and Trout. There were 4 hit by pitches alone in this game of the Angels. That cannot happen. Now, a sac fly does end the scoring. The Angels have won 3 in a row. They better still build for the future. Do not get cute with this win streak. Do not be making trades. So this is Fuzzy from the future. I had to go back to add this part after the Angels game. Literally, as I said, that the Angels traded for someone. They're bringing back Luis Garcia. He was terrible for them in 19. He's been terrible since, but they also picked up Andrew Chafin, so they get 2 Nationals relievers. At first, it was just Luis Garcia, but then it was like, is Chafin also going there? It's been confirmed that it's both going for Jake Eder. Chafin's been pretty good this year. He's a dog, a 2.7 ERA. He's kind of hit or miss. Jake Eder had a 4+ ERA in the minors and now in the big league, so he's kind of a low risk, a decent reward for guys that the Nationals don't really need going forward. They're going to try and fix his sweeper and changeup. He's got a decent mid-90. My brain is kind of caving with this trade, not gonna lie. So one of 2 things could be happening right now with the Angels, and this is why I'm so confused. One, they could straight up just be buyers and going for it because they're, 3.5, 4 games back of a wild card spot, and Angels fans, the non-delusional ones, are like, why are we doing this? They're going to be waived in 4 weeks because we don't have the pitching to actually be a playoff contender. Or are the Angels about to offload a Reed Detmers or Kenley Jansen and just use Luis Garcia and Andrew Chafin as replacements of those 2 guys? I feel like that's actually making more sense in my head as opposed to the Angels think they have a chance. But maybe I'm putting my foot in my mouth and they're going to go on a run. I don't know. The A's, I know they've been winning a lot more lately as well, but let's start making trades soon, huh? Brent Rooker, a 3-run home run. He's for sure not getting traded. He even said it. He's not going anywhere. Miguel Andujar, the elder statesman of the squad, he's probably going to get traded. He's hitting 294 on the season. Randy, I'm tipping my cap to this guy right here, right now. 5 consecutive 2020 seasons. He then scooted around on the Jorge Polanco RBI, which actually ended up being it for Seattle. Luis Severino has best start by far at home. Talking about in Sacramento, he had 6 strikeouts, and my friend Darrell Hernandez, I didn't even know that he just got called up. He saved him with the pick and the throw. That thing was scorched. Shea, yep, that ball is gone. 18 home runs for his last 5 games. Duar had a second RBI double. He's got to get moved. Like, move him now. And check out first name Nick, last name Kurtz. I mean, that is a prime Matt Olson play right there. They call this kid the Big Amish, and it just makes sense. The A's offense is ridiculous. So if they can keep on building and add some pitchers next year, I like them. Cam Smith is going through that rookie lull. He's trying to fight back with this double. He is going through a brutal 8 for 66 before that swing, so maybe this wakes him up. Luis Garcia Jr., not Luis Garcia. So this is the other Luis Garcia on the Nationals. He has a season-long slump going. He's not been very good this year, but he has 2 home runs the last week. The Nationals still fell to 44 and 63. At least Soroka punched out a few. He's going to get moved, at least in my opinion. Yiner, he tagged him. That ball was in the air forever. 3 singles from the Astros gave them a bigger lead. You have Cooper Hummel with an RBI, Altuve with an RBI. Christian Walker had 2 RBIs on the bases of the Ripper. Why was that so hard for me to say? Josh Hader has 28 saves after striking out the side. He has 73 strikeouts in 48 and 2/3 innings. This is the same guy, though, that has 826 strikeouts in 508 career innings. He's been doing this for almost a decade. The Astros, they snapped their 5-game losing streak. They're still 4 games up in the West. That does it for today's recap. It was a big one, so do me a favor, leave a like and subscribe, and go touch some grass after watching the web gems. Yeah, get some air, please.
On the south side of Chicago, off the end of the bat to center, on comes McNeil. The dive and make one. Bounce to third. Backhand from foul ground. Nice play. And leading off. It's the first ball to the right side. Diving stop by Schneider. Back to his feet. Softly hit. Charging on that St. He'll dive ahead. And he makes the play. On the ground. Diving at second base as Cronenworth picks himself up. And Armstrong into the gap in right center. Frelick is on the move. Frelick is there, makes the catch.